What do you say, baseball fans? Rye Bread talking baseball, episode 87. Lots of big news for the Rays today. Two big moves on the roster. First of all, you're going to see Fleming come off the DL to pitch that 3 o'clock start. Got a gold Flemmer. You can see it juxtaposed against the base. These gold cards are where you're going to see your value. See that again? And then, of course, the big news, we're looking for Vidal Brujan to get called up today, and I picked out a couple of Brujans that I just wanted to... This is the base Bowman prospect Vidal. We've got a couple of those. Got a couple of those laying around. More than this, actually. We just picked out a couple. This is an interesting card, the prospect card for Brujan, number 46 overall prospect. Expect that to change. And then, interestingly, we've got these two. This is a standard 3-4 dot, Bowman Chrome Brujan, which is supposed to rate you perfect centering. But here I've got a cool looking 4-4. And I think this 4-4 looks even more balanced. So I'm considering sending both of these in to get rated. But here's the moneymaker. I've got a couple of these. I just picked one that I really liked because it was shiny. This Mojo Bowman prospect Vidal Brujan. We're hoping for good things both for the Rays aspect and for me. Hopity hope. But the Rays are going to be showcasing a lot of young talent here. My goodness, it seems like half the lineup's from Durham. But that's not a bad thing when they're this good. When the only reason they were really down in the first place was for service time manipulation purposes. So we look for a nice doubleheader today. Rays and Indians. Tribe really need to get a win here. They've been struggling badly. It's been a week since they won a game. So Rays are going to have to fight extra hard. Going into that off day, coming off that nice little walk-off win for Yandy on the ground ball, had to be nice because the Rays have lost so many walk-offs in that losing streak. Pendulum coming back and feeling good. Hopefully going to get at least one today. I just don't like Waka against the Tribe. I think they're hungry and ready to get a W because, man, it's been a long time and they're still in it. They know they're still in it and they need these games against the Rays because this wild card thing is not getting any further apart. It's getting tighter. So it's going to be down to the wire with the Central Division's only real threat to the wild card being the Indians because it looks like the White Sox are going to run away with that division. A couple of Indians to highlight for today. Notice here, you've got these base cards. This is a Jose Ramirez base. And there's your Jose Ramirez color. You can see these are cooler. They're worth more, the color cards. The base card's virtually only worth what they're printed on here. But if you get the team card, especially if you got some Indians fans, this is a nice little card. Landscape team card, Cleveland Indians rainbow foil. Pretty cool stuff. But the guy you really got to be careful about is the one-man wrecking crew. This guy, Franmil Reyes. Here's the Franmil Gold. You see this one's in a top loader. You can juxtapose it against his base. The reason why I've got this one top loaded is because it's got a serial number. Right? So when you take that away and you look on the back, you got yourself that 522 out of 2021. Obviously the year 2021, you're establishing the value, establishing the demand. We like Franmil. We've had him on the Dynasty team for a while, and man, he was dangerous. Got to look out for that Indians lineup, especially here in Game 1. I'm not sure how long Walker is going to be useful as a starter. When he comes in relief and he's got 97 in the tank for an inning or two, he's been effective. Maybe if he's going to switch over to be more of an opener, more of a classic opener, give it all you got for 2 innings, I think he's better served that way. But I've seen him rush it up there. And when Waka's got that kind of control and he can bring 97 for an inning or two, he's way more effective. But it remains to be seen how the Rays are going to utilize their pitching. They've got a deep pitching staff. They've got help down there in Durham. The 14 innings they got to get today, before the All-Star break, they can shuffle a few guys up and down. I expect them to get a little bit creative. But obviously the big news for today, we'll be watching for Vidal Brujan in that Rays uniform. Let's move on a little bit. Yesterday, you had Yordan Alvarez, who's quietly just having an amazing season. These Jordans, those aren't real autos. This is an example of that Donruss, Yordan Alvarez, unleashed right? You'll notice there's no mention front or back of the team. It just says Houston, right? Houston. So the value is going to be capped on these, even though the cards look pretty cool. Pitching matchups I wanted to highlight today. You've got Burnesy at deGrom. I don't have anything worthwhile to show you about Burnesy. I've only got a couple of base cards, but we've showed this deGrom a couple times, this rainbow. It's just such a lovely card, and if he goes Cy Young, that card's going to be worth a little dough. And then these throwbacks, I'm going to highlight these a little bit more as we go on in the show. My question of the day is, who would you rather start your club with, Juan Soto or Fernando Tatis Jr.? Twitter was on fire with that yesterday. So we'll see. I want to talk about it here in a little bit, but it got a little bit too much. People on Twitter cannot have a regular conversation. But back to the pitching matchups. Burnesy at deGrom. Casey Mize at Kyle Gibson. Wow. I'm telling you, if you want a pitching matchup, that's where you can look. It's not like the Burnesy deGrom's not going to be the marquee. Of course it's going to be on the marquee. But you got Mize and Gibson, and you got Sean Manaea and Luis Garcia at the Astros. Those two games, man, underrated. I don't know what happened to my Garcia rookies. I've got a couple base rookies for him. I got a couple Manaeas. The haircut. But you know we're big A's fans here. And they're going to need to get some of these at Houston to keep it close. Because, man, Houston is just not slowing down. They're so good. And like we've said all year, East versus West continues to rage. The only team that in the Central that's vying for wild card is the Indians, and they're playing against the Rays. And there's no doubt that's going to be a heavy one today in that doubleheader. But we wanted to highlight these Mize cards a little bit. Here you got a artist proof, a little extra color. Again, Diamond Kings, no sponsorship. These, I'm just trying to keep it consistent. I showed you some Yordan, not the real autograph, but they're nifty little cards on the marquee. This is the kind of card you need to look for. This is a Bowman rookie, Casey Mize, just a paper base. But these are the ones where you're going to see a little bit of value. This is that throwback card that we've been highlighting today. It's nice centering on that one. But Tigers fans, they know all about Casey. I'm also in on Manning. I've been getting a lot of Manning lately, hoping that he rises to form. So, without further ado, I want to answer this question. Who do you like? If you had pick one, these two guys are on the board, not for fantasy. I'm going Tatis Jr. I think I like it personally a little bit more, but that might be the reason why. But Soto is just so dangerous. Already got a World Series ring. Tatis is wants to catch him in that regard. This year might be the year to do it. Padres have as good a chance as anybody to be there at the end. The base card for Tatis is even cool, man. The guy is just a dude. Big fan of Tatis. And then this is kind of a little bit of a weird card that we picked up. I haven't seen many of these tops. Tatis Juniors. It's the old uni. Not going to be worth as much. Not a rookie or anything like that. But who would you start? Leave it in the comments. I want to talk about it. Get me on Twitter if you can. And get my back. People going after me hard for taking Tatis over Soto. But we'll be back to check in on those pitching matchups tomorrow. A little bit all over the place today. Before we leave, we'll mention the scoreboard. 07 Jays 5, Marlins 2, Dodgers 1. Well then. Little David beats Goliath. I don't know if the Jays are really a Goliath at this point, but for the O's, almost everybody's in that category. The O's have not been playing well. So, 15-10, Phillies at Cubs. Baseball game, maybe? That's more like an Eagles-Bears score there in football. Phillies, the pitching was supposed to be their buoy. I don't know, they're giving up 10 runs. With the Phillies getting healthy, though, I expect them to make a strong charge at the Mets. I'm not a big believer in the Mets, except for today. They have a good shot, obviously, with deGrom going. I'm not a big Mets guy. Their organization just can't seem to get out of their own way in my entire lifetime outside of 1986. Thank you, Bill Buckner. But that's about as far as it goes. The Mets just continue to squander. But there they are in first place. But we have obviously picked the Phillies there. All right, we're going to get out of here before we ramble on too long. Don't forget, Bascom's Chop House, St. Pete, Tampa, Clearwater, best wine list in the city, best steak in the city. Go check them out. Bravo Beach Resort, Siargao Island, Philippines. I'm not kidding, man. Go check it out. We're checking everything out. Oh, Mr. Wordsmith over here. Yeah, that's right. I was an English teacher. Anyway, we love you. We'll see you again tomorrow. We're going to do 162.